Three clients asked me the same question last week. You know what that is? Should I just get on Ozempic? Now, I get it. When you're scrolling Instagram and you're looking at all of these dramatic before and afters, yes, it is hard not to think and wonder if you're actually doing what you are supposed to do, if maybe you are missing something. And that is completely normal. But here's the truth. I tried GLP-1s years ago for my PCOS. I was struggling with weight and I expected magic. Now, what I got instead was extreme nausea, debilitating constipation, and zero weight loss. But here's the plot twist. That experience actually catapulted me into a journey of becoming a health coach because I needed to figure this thing out for myself first. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain on GLP-1 medications, what they are, how they actually work, and what the Instagram ads and the influencers won't tell you. Because whether you're considering these medications or just trying to understand the hype, this episode is for you. I am Coach Jenny, and this is the Path to Better A1C podcast. If you're new here, I am Jenny Peña. I am a diabetes prevention health coach and a GLP-1 weight loss coach. I help busy men and women, typically professionals, entrepreneurs, manage their A1C, their blood sugar, increase their energy, decrease that brain fog, and also work with their weight with or without GLP-1s. That with or without part is really important because today we're kicking off a special 4-part series on GLP-1 medications. And I know this topic is everywhere right now. Everyone from your neighbor to celebrities, everybody's talking about these medications. Now, here's the thing. There is so much noise and not enough accuracy. So over the next 4 weeks, we are going to get to what you need to know. So today is episode 61, why there's so much hype around them right now, because I have a personal experience that may differ from all that hype with these medications. And the things that a lot of people don't talk about, trust me, I have stories. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, your water bottle, your drink of choice, or maybe listen to this while you're driving. Let's dive in. Now, let's simplify the science of what GLP-1s are, because that's the thing that not many people understand. So we're going to start with the basics. GLP-1 stands for, and please forgive me, I am not a doctor, glucagon-like peptide 1. I know, it's a mouthful. But here's what you need to know. GLP-1 is a hormone and a hormone that your body naturally produces. It produces it in your gut. So when you eat, especially when you eat protein and fiber, your intestines actually release GLP-1s. Now, this hormone does 3 important things. That's why it's so effective. First, it tells the pancreas to release insulin to help manage your blood sugar. Second, it slows down how quickly your food leaves your stomach. Then what happens with that? It helps you feel fuller for longer after a high protein meal. And then the third is that it signals your brain that, okay, I'm satisfied. I don't need any more food. It reduces that food noise. Those constant thoughts about what you're going to eat next. I'm so hungry. All of that, that is what the GLP-1 medications do. So these medications are synthetic versions of this hormone. And what they end up doing is they mimic what your body is already supposed to do naturally, but at much higher levels and for much longer periods of time. So that is, in a nutshell, what they do. Now, how do they actually work? Here's where it gets interesting. These medications work on multiple levels. They slow your gastric emptying, so meaning that your food sits in your stomach a bit longer. You're going to feel full faster and you're going to stay full longer. They reduce those appetite signals in your brain, and that constant mental chatter about food, it gets quieter. And for some people, it goes almost completely silent. They improve the insulin sensitivity and they help regulate your blood sugar. And this is why these medications were originally developed for type 2 diabetes. And here's what is fascinating because they work on your brain's appetite centers, and many people report that they just stop thinking about food as much. The cravings just diminish. The emotional pull to eat when you're stressed or when you're bored, it just lessens. So, for people who have struggled with food noise their entire life, this can feel absolutely life changing. And maybe that is part of the reason for the hype. So, why the hype? Why is everyone talking about these medications now? Well, they have actually been around for a while. Ozempic was FDA approved for type 2 diabetes back in 2017. Then in 2021, Wegovy was approved specifically for weight loss. And now the results and trials obviously significant. So we're talking about average weight loss of like 15, 20% of your body weight over 68 weeks. Now, that is substantial compared to other weight loss medications. And there are plenty out there, trust me. Now, we have had all that in the past, but then social media happened and celebrities started talking about it. And before and after photos flooded Instagram. And all of a sudden, everyone, whether they need it or not, they just wanted access to this. And the demand became so high that we have actually seen shortages of these medications. And it has been really problematic for people with type 2 diabetes who need them for blood sugar regulation and blood sugar management. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my personal experience and I will share my story because I think it is important for you to know where I'm coming from with this. And years ago, before I became a health coach, I was struggling with blood sugar imbalance and with PCOS. And one of the hallmarks of PCOS, again, is insulin resistance. So this often leads to weight gain that is incredibly difficult to lose. And I can attest to that. I struggled with it. My doctor actually suggested trying the GLP-1 medication. I was hopeful. I thought finally I'm going to find something that will work. But my experience was nothing like that Instagram success stories that you typically see. Within days, I developed extreme nausea, not just like, oh, I feel queasy. I mean, debilitating nausea where I just couldn't function normally. And then came the constipation, then diarrhea. It was just honestly horrible. And the kicker was that after a few months of pushing through, of hoping and praying that my body was going to grow out of the side effects, I had not lost a single pound, not 1 pound. So I stopped taking it. And at first I felt like a failure. I've done something wrong. But here's what I learned later: GLP-1 medications don't work the same for everyone. And I honestly didn't have the guidance to use them the proper way in terms of what type of nutrition I needed to follow. So it was a bit of a blind technique or strategy, if you want to call it like that. And while some people have incredible results, others like me experience significant side effects and have zero benefits. And that experience, as frustrating as it was, actually pushed me to dig deeper into understanding metabolic health, understanding blood sugar, understanding PCOS and what was happening, how to regulate my blood sugar, and how to find sustainable life changes. And that's how I became a health coach. Not because I wanted to open up a business or anything like that. It was my own stroll that caused me to do this. Now, I'm going to share what the Instagram ads will not tell you, okay? Because let's talk about what you don't see in these glossy before and after posts. Reality check number 1. They're not a magic wand. A lot of people think that, oh, this is all I need and this is all I'm going to do. And magically the pounds are going to roll off. Yes, GLP-1 medications are powerful tools, but they work best as part of the bigger picture. You can't just inject yourself weekly and expect results while eating the same way, not moving your body, not managing your stress, not sleeping well. The most successful outcomes happen when people combine the medication with sustainable lifestyle changes. And here's the thing, those lifestyle changes, they're what help you maintain those results when you stop the medication. So, medication alone, not a magic wand. Now, reality check number two, side effects are common. Now, some are more bearable than others. And a lot of them can include nausea. It affects a lot of people, constipation, diarrhea, fatigue, decreased appetite to the point where eating feels like a chore. Sometimes even your taste buds change. And you also get potential gallbladder issues. And there's some rare cases, more serious complications that can come. And I have seen people, I work with clients who use GLP-1 successfully, and almost all of them experience at least mild side effects, especially in the first few weeks, and typically when they increase the dosage. So these things are somewhat expected. Now, reality check number three, cost and accessibility. Because, yes, these medications are expensive. And without insurance coverage, you're looking at 600, 700, 900, sometimes $1,300 per month. Yes, I said it correctly. Per month. Some insurance plans cover them for type 2 diabetes, but not for weight loss. And some don't cover them at all. And even with the coverage, the copays can actually be pretty significant. So this isn't a short term solution either. It's expensive, but then most people need to stay on them long term to maintain those results, which means this is a sustained financial commitment. So it cannot be one of those patchwork things that you embrace. So you have to take into consideration all of this. Now, reality check number four, muscle loss is a real concern. And here is something that doesn't get talked about enough. And this is not just with medications, this is with rapid weight loss, period. It can lead to significant muscle loss. And if you're not intentional about your protein intake and your strength training, you know what happens? Well, I like to tell my clients, and I'm going to use my own name. Okay, you don't want to be flabby, Jenny. You want to be strong, Jenny. That's why it matters. And not just the look, but also the fact that muscle is metabolically active tissue. It helps regulate blood sugar, it supports your metabolism, and protects your bones and your joints. So losing a lot of muscle, it means that your metabolism is going to slow down, and that can make it even harder to maintain that weight loss long term. This is fixable though, but it requires being very strategic about how you eat, how you move, how you train while you are on the medication. Now, what your body already does naturally, it's something that a lot of people also don't talk about. And here's what I want you to remember. Your body already produces GLP-1. There are specific habits that you can optimize so that your body can produce GLP-1 in a good, effective way. And what are these things? A lot of people are like, what should I do to actually do this? How can I help my body produce more GLP-1s? Protein at every meal. This is huge. Protein is one of those strongest triggers for natural GLP-1 release. And I would say, obviously, talk to your dietitian, but aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Aim for that. Start with one meal. And again, I talk about this, I feel almost every single episode because it is so important. And a lot of people are deficient when they come to protein. And I'm going to put a side note. It's not just a protein shake, please. There are other sources, natural sources of protein. The other thing that you may want to consider is fiber rich foods. Fiber slows digestion and extends your feelings of being full. And it actually supports GLP-1 production. So think about vegetables and fruits and whole grains and legumes. Um, Incorporate those naturally, as natural as possible. Strength training. Strength training is another thing that improves not just your insulin sensitivity, what in fact affects how your body responds to GLP-1, but it also responds to whether it's natural or medication. So, strength training is super important. Then, the next thing that a lot of people don't even think about or connect or see the correlation is stress management. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol, it disrupts blood sugar regulation and can actually interfere with different hormones. So, these aren't just nice to haves. This is not just when you're losing weight. These are foundational habits that will actually support your metabolic health, whether you're on medication or not. Like, I want you to embrace these things. Now, bottom line, GLP-1 medications can be genuinely life changing for some people. And I've seen clients have incredible success with them when they are using them properly and we're combining them with sustainable habits. They're not just taking the medication, they're actively working on things. They're not the only path forward, though. I want to bring hope because I couldn't use the medication. I had to drop it. And there are other people that they start and they have to drop it. And they still need to work on their health. So it's not the only thing, it's not the only solution. And they're definitely not right for everyone. Now, next week in episode 62, we are going to dig deeper into who should and shouldn't consider these medications and some questions that you can bring to your doctor and ask, and how to know if they're really the right choice for your unique situation, because there are people that could benefit and there are others that probably are better off not even diving into it. So, before we wrap up, I want to share something else with you. If you are considering GLP-1 medications or you're already using them and you're wondering what should I focus on, I actually created a free guide just for you. What to focus on while using GLP-1s. And it covers why GLP-1s work, why they sometimes stop working, and that one framer that matters most right now while appetite is low that you need to consider. Also, the most common reasons people regain the weight and how to avoid those. So, you're going to have clarity as to how to move forward, not guessing, but full of confidence for people using GLP-1s who want to make sure they're protecting their progress, they're protecting their energy, they're strengthening their metabolism, both now and after they stop taking the medication. So you can grab it completely free. It's at subscribepage.io/the GLP-1. That is subscribepage.io/GLP-1. And I will also put the link in the show notes. So that is it for today. Next Friday, next week, we're diving into episode 62, and we are going to cover some of the FDA approved uses, the health conditions that make GLP-1s a bit risky, and the exact questions that I want you to go ask your doctor before you even start. And if you found this helpful, please share with someone who maybe has been asking about these medications. Maybe you are listening to them, commenting. Let's spread the evidence based information, not just the hype. And don't forget to grab that guide at subscribepage.io/GLP-1. I'm Coach Jenny, and I will see you next Friday on the Path to Better A1C podcast. Thank you for joining me.